right. Aloha Love Tribe. Guess who I have with me here? I have a woman who just completed an insane journey. I don't even know how many miles, but she said yes to her dream. And again and again and again, she keeps walking and cruising. And she's helping people like us ADD entrepreneurs, with transformational coaching and inspiration, and helping us take our lives from adequate to excellent. And my beautiful guest, hi, Kit Cassingham.
Hi, Valerie.
And so we're both in Colorado. Where exactly again are you in Colorado?
I am in Ouray County. It's in the southwest corner of the state. If you saw the original True Grit, that was filmed like in my backyard or front yard or something. Yeah.
Some portion of your landscape.
Yes, in our 100 square miles of land.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so, okay, so for those of you guys listening on the podcast, so we're doing YouTube and we're also doing, the audio podcast. I'm looking at these little spoke things that are going up in your ceiling. Tell me about, what is that? That doesn't look like a normal ceiling.
It is not a normal ceiling. My office is in a yurt. It's a small 20-foot diameter yurt. A yurt is a Mongolian structure. Think teepee, but with a domed roof. And Mongolians are nomadic, and so they just kind of pick up everything like teepees and move around. Mm-hmm. Colorado Yurt Company, which is just up the road from me, makes these out of canvas and other materials. We put this up 16 and a half years ago and lived in it while we had our house built.
Wow.
And it's been my office on and off since we moved out.
Oh my gosh. And so
it's an unusual place to office or podcast.
How does it do with, I mean, we're in Colorado, it snows and rains and freezes and
I'm at 7,500 feet. I actually don't get real hot here. I got a little propane heater, and I've got fans and windows that open up. And Monday, the outside is getting replaced. It has about a 12-year life. And okay. I just told you it's 16 and a half years old.
Uh-huh. Wow. Okay. Well, that's good. You got to stretch it out a little bit, get your money's worth.
Yeah. So I'm getting the outside replaced on Monday.
Well, okay. So that's fascinating. So you're clearly like a woman who doesn't do things by the books. And, you and I met through, how did we meet? Let's tell the audience how we met.
All right. We are warrioresses.
Yes.
This Bo Eason's personal story power program that we're taking is phenomenal. And that's how we met. Yeah. And we get to see each other every Thursday through Zoom calls where we support each other. And another handful of people join us. But we're becoming powerful storytellers and warriors, changing the world.
And why do you think, why is it important for us to share our stories and to go create stories to share, which you just did recently?
Which I love, creating stories. The world, I don't want to sound judgmental, but I think the world doesn't live enough. It just exists. And when I mean world, most people in the world. And so when we share our stories, we help people change. We help them step into their truths. Yeah. And their realities, and create their realities, the ones they want, that they're holding and going, yes, I wish I could do that. And they can. Most of the time, if you're in a wheelchair, you may not scale Everest, but you could do other things.
Right. Your own version of Everest,
Right.
And so let's share with the audience what you just did and why.
I just came back from my second Camino, and Camino means the Camino de Santiago, which is a pilgrimage to Santiago, Spain. It's in the northwest corner of Spain, in the autonomous region of Galicia. Spain has states and counties like the United States does, but they call them autonomous regions and other things. But anyway, the Apostle James is buried under the cathedral, or in the cathedral in Santiago.
And who's Apostle James?
Disciple James, one of Christ's buddies.
One of his bros, one of his tribe?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I got to learn all these things, so. Yeah.
Well, and in for Catholics, he's a saint. And so it started as a Catholic pilgrimage, but a lot of non-Catholics, in fact, more non-Catholics do it now. And a lot of non-religious people. I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual.
Spiritual, but not religious. There you go. Hashtag.
Yep. Great hashtag.
I know. Right?
I did my first one last year. I did the 500-mile or 800-kilometer walk from the Pyrenees to Santiago.
500 miles walking.
Yep, on my feet.
Like as opposed to your hands. That's great.
Yeah. Or on my bottom.
Oh my God.
It would have taken longer that way. But
a minute more.
yeah. But people expect great transformations, and they're going to become something different. And I'm going, well, I don't know what I'm going to experience. But after doing all my research, I knew I was going to be different. I just didn't know how. I couldn't even anticipate how. And today I can't tell you quite how I'm different, but it changed me a lot. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go. You came back.
I came back and I immediately changed my website to say, transform your life.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, so I guess I've been transformed. And so in the past year and a half, I've been figuring out. So anyway, I did my second Camino. I did a short 150-mile walk from Porto, Portugal.
Yeah.
Just a
little baby walk.
and we walked from Porto, Portugal to Santiago, Spain.
Wow. And so let's talk about a couple things. So you said you didn't know what to expect in the beginning, when you did this first one. And
right.
Did you have an expectation of the second one, and did it pan out that way?
Well, the second one was a business adventure.
Okay.
So I'm now taking people on trips, especially walking trips, to help them transform, because there is nothing more transformative than walking hour after hour, day after day, that your garbage just leaves you, and life fills you. Nobody signed up but my cousin.
Well, so let's ask, my brain is all excited now. I didn't know that you did that with leading people. Like, do you have at the beginning of today, it's Thursday, we're going to have an intention for the next 20,000 hours of walking, and we're going to say this mantra, or we're going to have this thing that we do as we walk, or does everybody just wake up and you start walking and you're like, okay, the garbage is leaving. How does it work for you?
It had been my intention, my expectation, if you will,
mm-hmm.
that I would do a coaching session like the night before or the morning of, to set the intention for the day. Okay. All right, today let's think about our clarity. We'll have talked about it. And so now you get to let that conversation work through you.
Mm.
And each day I was going to have a different one, a different coaching theme session, etc.
Yeah.
Didn't work out that way.
Your expectations didn't get met, huh?
Correct. And so I just regrouped. It's like, I have faith that the walking itself, because I didn't coach myself on my first Camino, I just walked and it transformed me. And so I have faith that the walking and the experiences that come to you will transform you. There's a common mantra. There are 3 common mantras for the Camino. Okay. One is the Camino provides.
I love
Magical things happen on the Camino.
Wow.
Another one is, it's your Camino. That's usually accompanied by criticism of some plan you just told somebody you're doing. Like, I'm going to carry 3 liters of water with me. You can't do that. That's too heavy. It's my Camino.
My Camino, not yours. I'm going to carry 10 of them. Look at me now.
Yeah. And the third mantra just eluded me, but yeah, if it comes back, I'll tell you.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I find that super magical, because I think of whether you're going into a yoga class or a retreat, sometimes you think am I guiding myself through this whole thing, or am I letting the thing guide me and I get to melt with the thing, whatever it is, whether it's a dance party, a yoga class, or a giant 500-mile walk,
Yeah.
It sounds like when your mind is trying to do the thing, it kind of can get crunchy and messy. And when you surrender to spirit and Mother Nature and this beautiful divine, creation called life, it seems like it sort of does what we need it to do.
And you've got to stay present. I've watched pilgrims do the Camino on their phones.
Whoa.
I mean, it's one thing to use the phone to say, yep, I'm on the right path. Or take pictures, or to find a place to stay. It's another to be calling home to talk to the kids, the spouse, the friends, whatever. And those who are doing the reaching to their old world don't stay as present.
Right.
They don't get the transformation the same way. But
And
they still are walking, and they're still doing things they never thought they could do.
how did you get turned? I mean, this is magnificent. Like I would never, I mean, personally, like your first journey and even the second journey, like I would never, it's just not something that like I'm magnetized to go do a 500-mile,
Right.
Camino, a walk. And so how did you, what sparked that for you?
A friend of mine since first grade and her husband walked the last 100 kilometers years ago.
Uh-huh.
And you get a beautiful certificate called a Compostela when you've walked at least 100 kilometers or
Okay.
biked 200 kilometers.
Okay.
And so she and her husband did that, and it was his dream to do the full 500 miles.
Wow.
But he died before he got it done.
Oh gosh.
So it was her dream. There was one church along the way that touched him. And so she wanted to go do his walk and leave some of his ashes at that church. So she asked me if I would like to go with her. And I said, yeah. And our friends are going, that's nuts. That's hard. And I said, no. And there are other things that are harder that I've done or have had foisted on me.
Yeah.
And after 21 months of preparation, she backed out 2 days before our trip.
Wow. 21 months of preparation?
Of walking and studying and talking and getting ready. And I said, well, and at first I said, well, I'm going to go anyway. But I woke up the next day and I said, you've been preparing to do her Camino, not yours.
Mm.
So I said, I'm going to wait. And then a woman I know through my brother and sister-in-law said, well, I'm going next spring if you want to go with me. So we decided we'd go separately together or together separately. So we did our Caminos together, but they were our Caminos.
Yeah.
We had each other's backs. It was very cool. We're still good friends.
Wow.
So that's what got me started. But it was really hard, Valerie. I mean, 2 weeks in, I thought, I'll finish this, but I have no intention of ever doing this again.
You're like, it's like giving birth for the first time. You're like, fuck that. Okay, this is great. And then you get amnesia about the thing.
Well, I fell in love with the walking and the people.
Wow.
Experiences. I mean, I have friends from all over the world I still keep in touch with from my first Camino.
How do you, so just curious, I mean, 500 miles is a ton, whatever you cover per day, it's like, do you just have to find where you're going to stay each night on your own? Or is there like this cool group that's like, okay, here's 50 hostels that are at the 20-mile marker. And how does that work for, finding out where to stay every night?
So the French way, what I did last year is called the Camino Francais, or the French way. Martin Sheen did a movie on it in 2010 called The Way.
Oh, wow.
And that is the most common. 60% of the pilgrims walking a Camino are walking the French way.
Okay.
That has become the industry for northern Spain. And most of the way there are places to stay and places to eat. I mean, there might be a warning of 17 kilometers without any food or water. And in rough numbers, I multiplied the kilometers by 0.6 to get a rough mileage, because I still don't think in kilometers. And so that's about 10 miles.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So it's like, all right, well, I'll have snacks and water with me and I can make that far. So we got into a routine where we would leave early in the morning, which meant we got to experience sunrise.
Mm.
We're walking west. And so when you see the sky in front of you start to kind of turn pink, I would turn around and get these great sunrise pictures.
Nice.
And the birds were waking up and the bullfrogs were waking up, and it was just great. But go ahead. We would stop just after lunch, or sometimes at lunch, and forget to keep going. And we would stop early afternoon so that we made sure we had a bed for the night.
Got it. Okay.
My Marines, 2 young men who I got to know on the trip, didn't stop early enough one day, and they ended up walking 30 miles that day because there weren't beds sooner than that.
Oh gosh. So it's almost like this little race to the next, not, I don't know, race, but just like making sure you got it together, because you don't want to be sleeping.
Or trusting the universe.
Yeah. And the reality is, obviously, you're on this crazy journey. And so, okay, so how long did it take the original one to do?
We added a day of a break 3 times during the trip. So we'd walk a week, take a day off, walk a week. With that, it was 35 days.
Wow. And then this last trip.
I was told it was a 10-day walk, so I allowed 12. We took all 12.
Like,
and didn't take any time off.
We're stopping that up like a biscuit. Okay. Oh.
Well, my cousin isn't the kind of walker I am. She's got to have breakfast before she walks anywhere.
Got it.
So rather than leaving before sunrise, we weren't leaving till 8 o'clock.
So you had just a different vibration. So what was, so let's talk about the experiment of the week and how it's relating to this experience of your life. And so let's talk about what, here at Dance Our Dreams, we always do a weekly experiment or life hack of the week to try to help us move our dreams forward so that we can serve the dream of the planet, which to me is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. So let's talk about your experiment.
So my experiment is called Drop Your Expectations. And it's something I've recognized all my life. I mean, we all know that we shouldn't expect things of others. Mm-hmm. It's like an assumption, and we know what that means.
Yeah.
Makes an ass out of you and me. And expectations do too. And I saw in my first Camino people ruining their days and their relationships with expectations. Valerie should know not to talk to me like that. And Valerie should know this. And Valerie should. And the weather was supposed to be nice today. And look, it's not nice. And just all this whining and bitching. And after a while, my mantra was drop expectations, drop expectations. Just take it as it comes. The Camino provides. It'll all be okay. And I still see people filled with expectations. So I tried to not have expectations for this Camino, and I did pretty well. I mean, I wanted to coach my client, cousin. It didn't work out, and it's okay. It just was what it was.
Yeah. And so clearly there's an overlay template of your journey onto how we can look at, the expectations of our daily life, Even like today, I live up in the mountains and there's dirt roads, we have great paved roads, and all of a sudden it's like dirt road land, but it's like, whatever, it's a quarter of a mile of dirt road, but it's like, depending on what day of the year it is, some days it's potholes and ice and slick and
or muddy
or whatever. And, there's the little prissy part of me that's like, well, it should be smooth all the time. And why isn't it always perfect and smooth? It's like, because you chose to live up here, Val. Like, that's why, dude.
And I've got 6 miles of dirt road, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh my God. And just today, as I was driving back from dropping my kids at the bus stop, I was looking at all these potholes and these little slick spots and all this stuff. And I'm just like, you can either like look at them every time you see them and get a little like irritated and like, why aren't they smooth and great? Or you can just embrace like, look at that. I'm going to go slower and look at the trees around me, and what do I get to do now in this moment? And so
exactly
that surrender to the now. And so this is similar.
It's exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how can people on a daily basis, do this experiment to, like, can they wake up? What do they do to drop expectations or surrender to the now and just be present? Like, what's your advice for them?
I love starting my day with gratitude that I have another day. And I think the gratitude is a good start to dropping expectations. And I think if you kind of keep repeating, no expectations, drop expectations, and they're going to pop up. Yeah. And then when they do, you go, stop, put that down.
Yeah.
Embrace what's there, like you embrace your potholes. Hopefully not literally, but
yeah, I know, right?
Faceplant. So if it's raining on a day it was supposed to be sunny, or sunny on a day it was supposed to be raining, appreciate the gift, because everything that happens to us is a gift.
Yeah. If we choose to unwrap it. I think, like, I really love Taoism, and I think about, what is like, that's what, it's not what should be. It's like, just embrace what is. And it's like the expectations of, well, it's supposed to be this way here. No. That's when we start getting this little monkey in our head going nuts.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh,
we do. Yes. Yeah. And we make the people around us nuts.
Totally. And they make us nuts too. So maybe this could be a fun experiment to like get more into our nowness and into
Be
appreciating.
present. Yeah.
Yeah. And so let's talk about your work, because as the us, I think, you had said spiritual, not religious. I think, many of us are that way. And regardless if we're religious and spiritual, it doesn't matter. Just
Right.
the point
Right.
is we're people who are seeking to connect with the divine, this greater experience of ours. And so if one hand we're over here and we're going, I'm just going to surrender to what is and just be present and da 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 da. And on the other hand, we are entrepreneurs and we are excellence seekers. And we are people who want to go from adequate to excellence. And we are people who want to make a difference on the world. How do we marry those two states of mind so that we can still go make, exponential impact on the planet, yet not drive ourselves crazy while we're doing that?
And it's a tough one. That's a challenging question.
Right. I know. That's why I was like, putting you on the spot here.
We do need, I believe we need goals and dreams to drive us, to lead us to our excellence. I like to always be striving for excellence.
Yeah.
Because I feel if I'm not, and what I'm feeling for myself is what I feel about others, that if we're living unconsciously, that we don't strive for better and more. And I don't mean more toys, I mean more life.
Right.
More joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
More giving. And so I believe that when we simplify our lives and have those goals or dreams that lead us,
Mm-hmm.
and that we put everything one step at a time toward that goal and drop those expectations, that then we do live to our fullest and we do have an excellent life that we've created. It's our design that we get to live.
It's our Camino.
Life is a Camino.
It's your Camino. And so what I'm hearing you say is, it's the attitude and the state of mind that you go into the execution process with, of like, I'm going to give it my best, but I'm not attached to the outcome necessarily. Like I want the outcome to like lead me on the step to the next direction toward this goal. But it's like, if I don't get there today, I don't have to beat myself up about it.
That's right.
I want to push myself.
Yes. And sometimes when we push ourselves, we fall down.
Yeah.
Get back. As Robin Williams used to say, fall down, get back up again.
Oh, I miss you, Robin Williams. I just watched the best documentary on his life. I think it was on HBO. So good. It was such a good, love him. He was such a genius.
I miss him too.
I know, right? Like, God bless you, honey. And, and I think, what an interesting person to bring up right now. Cause I think of our, you are on sustainable development goal number 3, good health and well-being, which also includes mental health, of course. And, clearly Robin had, in his younger years, he had addiction, and in his later years, he had stuff that went on that messed up with his mind that, caused him to commit suicide. And who knows exactly what the soup is of his mental state that caused that. But for me, as somebody who suffered from depression and, for the most part, I'm out of depression, but I definitely have moments of depression.
You can relate to him a lot more than I can, I'm sure.
Tons,
I've had depression, but different level.
It is. And it's that like breaking the shame and stigma around talking about our mental health and our, our health and well-being. And I think when we do have such high expectations of ourselves, especially if we're in the public eye, like he was, and then there's this burden. That's such an expectation of like, well, what are you going to do next? Oh, well, that last movie sucked, or that last concert was horrible, and you need to come back, or you need to make it even better. And so it's like this giant, colossal dinosaur of weight on top of you to like, I have to keep going. And instead of just being able to like, just exhale for a minute. And I certainly couldn't imagine what it must feel like for him at his just echelon, the highest echelon of success and expectations. And so I really appreciate that you picked number 3, for the health and well-being. And so let's talk about your song of the week.
Oh, okay. You want to dance it? Could you play it?
the thing with like YouTube and iTunes, I can't
I know
play
you
these
can't.
songs, which bums me out. Like when I first started this podcast, I was like, woohoo, I'm going to like rock and roll and play all these songs while I'm talking. And they're like, nope, can't do that. Dang it.
Yeah, I was at Starbucks one day doing a live stream, and Starbucks was piping their music out onto the patio where I was. YouTube wouldn't let me do my video, and I'm going, oh, it was a really good one.
I know, right? And I mean,
like,
I don't know. I just feel like I understand, and I'm not trying to rip off artists or, clearly I'm not making
no,
money on this podcast.
right,
It's just like, come on, let's support the artists and jam their music a little bit. So
right.
I think there's a new evolution of the music industry that's, we've got another 5 years before we're going to be able to do that a little bit more generously with social.
I look forward to that.
Yeah. So I think it's super cool. What is it? What's the song?
It's Macklemore's Can't Hold Us.
I know. I'm just going to dance to it because it just, it's the best.
My cats think I'm so weird when I dance to it. They kind of pull back going, uh-oh, she's gone crazy again.
I know. Good. Go crazy, Mom.
So, I've had several teachers along the way, people teaching me different business things.
Mm-hmm.
And the two big ones who introduced me to this as part of their music to get you going before they start speaking again.
Yeah.
And I liked it so much that I bought the album and play it. Well, it really does jazz me. I just smile, my feet smile, everybody's happy. Several years ago, I was diagnosed with an ovarian fibroma. I did not want to take ownership of this thing, so it wasn't my fibroma. It was a fibroma. It was an alien.
It's an alien. Oh yeah, let's talk about this. You said
so
this is where the song comes from.
I had an alienectomy.
An alienectomy.
And the doctor went in and cut it out, and it turned out it was bigger than they thought. It was half a pound. And so I didn't get, is it laparoscopic surgery where they make the little incision?
Yeah.
So I had this big incision, lower belly, and I said, well, there go my pole dancing days. And the doctor's
Man.
And I go, no, I could put diamond studs in there. Okay, never mind. It's okay.
You can bedazzle that.
Well, yes, that's my theory. So, but my whole attitude was we're going to release the alien back to the wild.
Yeah.
To build me up to the surgery, I played Can't Hold Us numerous times every day, dancing my little heart out and singing. When I got back, and I did this over in the Front Range, so I had to stay. We spent the night over there, and when I got back to the hotel, and I played the song, and my toes kind of tapped a little bit, and I took a nap. Got up from the nap and played the song, and more of my foot tapped. By the next morning, my whole body was moving to this song. In 1 week, you would not know I'd had major surgery. Wow. And it's like, it didn't save my life, but I didn't suffer for months like people expected me to.
Exactly. I have a phrase called the music is the medicine and the DJ is the doctor. And I believe every one of us, each of you and us and Kit and I, we're the DJs of our own, masterpiece, our soundtrack of life. And so you infused yourself with that medicine.
Yeah, I did.
And you helped cure yourself. And the reason, obviously, I'm a DJ and I'm so passionate about having music on this podcast and sharing these types of songs and these messages, it's like, it's legit. This stuff heals us and it can help us get expanded. It can help us get grounded. It can help us connect with our spirit and with each other. And it's real. It is medicine for our soul. And I believe that with all my heart. And it sounds like you're a living example of how that was medicine for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it was.
It's so exciting.
Still is. Yeah, when I feel blue, I play it. It's like, okay, need a little boost.
Totally. Right. It's so good. I'm like, dance break. It's so good. One song can change your life for the whole day, Yeah. It can. And it just 3 minutes, 5 minutes, however long, you need. So it makes all the difference in the world. Let's talk about your charity of the week, the Ouray Mountain Rescue.
Okay. We have got a world-class rescue group.
Wow.
And we're in the mountains. People fall down, get hurt, they get lost,
Yeah.
and URA Mountain Rescue goes to the rescue. The other counties will rely on them for help. I mean, they've gone to the Black Canyon, which is in a different county. They've gone to Silverton, a different county. But we also have rigging for rescue, and the two are somehow, they're not really related, but they're intertwined.
Uh-huh.
And those rigging for rescue guys train military people from around the world.
Wow.
I mean, it's phenomenal. I'm so proud of our Ouray Mountain Rescue people.
Okay, so you say Ouray. Sorry, I think I said Ouray, and it's Ouray.
It's Ouray. Yeah.
Ouray, thank you. Sorry. And so obviously people can donate to that, and then it's not just helping your community. It sounds like it's helping other communities because they train these other folks around the world as well.
And I mean, a climber in the Black Canyon got hurt and got himself down to the river bottom fine, but couldn't get out.
Okay.
So you're right. I mean, so they help the world because visitors are coming here. And if visitors get rescued, then their communities, wherever, are helped also.
Totally. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's, where can everybody find you, Kit?
At liveinfocusedenergy.com.
All right, cool. And I'm going to put all of Kit's social media and her website and everything on our show notes at djvaleriebelove.com/podcast. And so I'm hearing a little meow meow in the background.
Yes, my one of my office kitties. She's my meditation cat too.
Oh, there you go. A temple kitty.
Yes, she thinks it's time to go outside, but as soon as I let her out, she'll think it's time to come inside.
Love it. What would you say to somebody who's listening to this podcast right now or watching on YouTube? What would you say to them? Because I know that about, 2 months ago, we were having this exact conversation in our mastermind group about, should I go on this journey, this other Camino, the second Camino, or not? What would you say to people who are at a why in their life and they're like, should I go do this thing now, or should I go do this other thing? What would you say to them? Like, how can they be the best decision maker for their journey that's in front of them?
I think the best thing to do, and it's not easy, but is to get quiet and listen to your heart and soul. And sometimes that takes asking other people for their opinions, and the noise that comes back to you in the opinions helps you figure out what's right for you. Yeah. But listening.
How do you personally differentiate between your soul and your heart voice and the mind voice, the protective voice up there, the logical voice, which is great. We need it. Love it. Keep it.
We do need it. Yeah. We'd be a mess if we only followed our hearts, I think. Maybe life would be better if we only followed our hearts.
Who knows,
Some of it is where the sound comes from. I mean, I can feel when my heart is speaking to me. I feel it in my heart region. And when my brain's talking, throat and brain, it's this region that's making all the noise.
So tune into your body and start listening from that quiet space. Like maybe go out in nature and ask these questions as well.
Going in nature is
great. Grounded.
And that's part of why the Caminos are so good, because you are outdoors. You are in nature.
I love it. That's so great. So do you have anything else you'd love to share with the Love Tribe and our awesome audience about you and about them and, moving their lives to the next level before we say adios?
Oh, I'm afraid if I say anything, it'll be trite.
Doubt it.
Pursue excellence. Quit being numb to your life.
Yeah.
Be proactive. Look at that dream, feel that dream, and pursue it in any number of ways that you can.
Yeah.
And ignore the naysayers, because they're afraid. They want, if you change and do something difficult, what does that mean for them?
Exactly.
So live your life, enjoy your life. One of the things I like to say I help people do is to design and live their life.
Yeah. Their own Camino, huh?
Yeah. And life is change. You can't get away from it. So embrace it.
Yay. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being on this beautiful podcast and sharing your wisdom and your fun and your enthusiasm with everybody here. I hope everybody who's listening gets little sprinkles and tapped on the shoulder to go do your own version of your own Camino, whether it's in your business or your relationship, your love life, your, adventure spirit, whatever it is, like go say
All of
yes
the
to your
above,
life.
yeah.
And I really appreciate you
Oh,
spending
I
so much
like
time
that.
with us. Yeah.
Say
Yes to your life.
yes to your life. Yes, thank you.
Yay. All right. So how about everybody, let's take a big inhale together. And exhale peace out to the world. And thank you, Kit Cassingham, for being with us here on Dance Our Dreams. And everybody, until next time, peace, love, and more love.